Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here in Croatia at a marvelous little boutique hotel that just turned into a hotel. It was a famous restaurant in this area. We're going to talk about where I am in Croatia and a whole lot more. I'm actually at the Zori Timeless Hotel, and I'm here with Eva you got to say this again? Tomljinovic. I'm going to stumble over that with my name, but and we're going to talk. And Eva is actually the owner, and also was at one time the top chef, and now she oversees this along with her husband. And we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Eva, I just got here yesterday, and you've already fed me very well in the last 24 hours. It's an amazing little boutique property with just 4 villas and this marvelous restaurant. But let's talk first about where are we located? Where are we here in Croatia?
Well, this island is called Sveti Clement, and it's part of Pakleni Islands in front of island of Hvar.
A lot of people know Hvar.
Yes, yeah. Dalmatia. So it's an island in front of Split. In Dalmatia.
And in fact, I had to go by boat over from Split, which it was a little.
Which is the only way.
Which is the only way. And normally it was my time was a little rough yesterday, and I was delayed, but it was still unfortunately. So I walked in on the time when they were doing the tasting dinner for the gala dinner. But afterwards you fed me very well. But let's talk a little bit about what's the history of Zori Timeless Hotel. You started, as I said, as a restaurant. How long ago?
Well, the restaurant was rebuilt in 2006, so we started doing the restaurant at that time. I took over from my parents with my husband. I was a head chef, so we were doing the restaurant. There were the houses always there.
Oh, so the houses that we know as the village.
Were there. They even my parents even rented them a lot of years before, but at that time it wasn't not ready to welcome any guests anymore. It was just a ruin. Right. And so first we invested in the restaurant. We started that, going forward, moving every year a bit, step up. And then the idea was always to rebuild those rooms that we had. It was just the financial side, first of all, and then the other side was the bureaucracy and all the paperwork. So it took us a bit, but now we're here finally.
And you're opening as a hotel this year, finally, and you've done a marvelous job. We're going to talk about those because there are actually 4 villas. They're each sort of individual and individually decorated. And so, what are those villas? Because they are really amazing. I mean, tell us what's in them, because they're beautiful. Some are for families and mostly for couples, right?
Yes, well, as we are in a protected area, this island is not allowed to. On the island, you're not allowed to build anymore. So we had these 4 houses, and we couldn't make them bigger or smaller. And we have built them. So the biggest one has 2 bedrooms and a living room. So it's like a family villa residence. Then the other one and the other 3 are like for a couple or a family with 1 child, maybe. Right.
So yes, it's pretty good, and but at least the one I'm in has not just 1 pool; it has a rooftop pool too, which is pretty cool.
Well, actually, that was a house before. It had a rooftop apartment, but for today's laws, that apartment was too
high. Yes.
No, not high enough.
Okay.
That upper apartment, so we couldn't rebuild it to be an apartment, to be a room with a toilet and everything. So the architects were, what should we do? We cannot just move it. We have to do something. And then my husband said, "Okay, let's do a pool over there." And it was like, "Oh yes."
It's pretty cool. I mean, it really is a great idea. Yeah. But then the actual villa itself is marvelous. You got incredible beds. You got drapes all around place. Beautiful bathrooms. The furnishings are absolutely super. Whoever decorated it, and you got.
Well, they did have an interior designer, and the idea was to use only natural materials. So everything is stone. The whole thing everything is made of stone. Even the beds are made of stone. I don't know if you saw that.
I'll have to go back and try this now. I gotta maybe I'll jump up and down in the bed and see if I can sleep.
It's really made here on the island. They put pieces of stone together to build a bed, and then of course put mattresses and everything inside. And obviously the shower and the bathroom also is, the doors are all,
the doors are really solid. They're solid. You got to have that's your weight training in the morning, is to open the bathroom door, but it is solid. It is really great, and it's really a beautiful room.
So it's all stone, all marble, and you have drapes so you can close if you're napping and sleeping, and your wife, for example, wants to sit on a couch and read. You can close it. You can enjoy the nature, but on the other hand, if you want to chill on your lounge and you don't want people from the boats looking at you, you can also close the drape outside and enjoy. And that's what we want. Or you can
go on your rooftop pool and just enjoy up there, because they have in my case, it is
the cloud resident.
That's cloud. There are four names, right?
Yeah, four. It's that one is cloud because it was exactly the thing. You're swimming in the clouds.
So there's the cloud residence. What are the other three?
Then the biggest one is Infinity, is like, because it has the pool on the terrace. It's like an infinity pool. And then you have the smallest one, it's Eternity, because it's like an eternity, it never changes. It's small, but it's always there. And then the last one is Horizon, because that pool just blends in with the horizon over there.
That's amazing. They're all amazing, and it really is. I'm so happy to have found them and discovered this place. Now, of course, you started as a restaurant. Let's talk a little bit about the cuisine. And when you started, what kind of cuisine do you feature here?
Well, we had local cuisine, and then we moved it a bit higher to a more classier, because our guests are mostly in the restaurant are people from the boats and from the yachts, and they're used to have some kind of level. So we saw this Croatian cuisine is good, but it needs work. Right. So we slowly started working on that to be more fine dine in that line of a fine dine.
And you've succeeded. I tell you, I had an incredible tasting menu, which you offer on your menu, but then the a la carte is amazing as well. And I was wondering, because it really is very high level cuisine throughout. So I was, why you did that. But you were the chef for a long time until you had 2 kids, and then you decided I didn't want to spend as much time, and so now you hired a chef a few years ago, right?
Yes, a few years ago, 3 years ago, we found Sinisha, and it was just a gift of God. He is really, really talented, dedicated, in love with his work, and with a huge knowledge. He, in the wintertime, when we are closed here, he travels the world, goes to different Michelin star restaurants and learns there, and then comes back, and the knowledge and the techniques that he learned in those restaurants brings them over and blends them in our
it's really it is a melange of cuisine, and I talked to him a little bit about it as I was having my personal tasting menu yesterday, because I came in, you fed me afterwards, and I said I'll just have a couple of the meals, and he kept bringing stuff like the tasting menu, and I couldn't resist, and everyone was best risotto I've ever tasted. I'm not a big risotto person. That was amazing, and he's done a great job for you, I think. Really, really. Well, I'm kind of curious about what your cuisine, but someday if you go back to the kitchen, tell me.
I will. Well, I do sometimes go back to the kitchen, but the plan is for the pre and post season to have some cooking classes. Oh. So when I do a cooking class, I'll call you.
Absolutely, because I'm very curious about that cuisine around here, and I've been to Croatia a number of times, and it's always great food. Now, if you're going to have a typical guest here, how long do you expect them to stay for when they come over here?
Well, it depends. I'm not sure. I think a at least a 3-day stay would be, because to come here you saw how difficult, let's say,
It can be difficult. Normally under with the
it's
conditions.
not easy, let's say, and I think at least 3 days is what you need to experience this.
Yeah.
Not only the restaurant and the hotel itself, but the islands. They're so beautiful, so many bays, hidden bays. You have the vicinity of Vis, of Korčula, of Dubrovnik also, Šolta. You can take a boat and then visit Vis, see a blue cave, green cave, Korčula. Many options, and I think a 3-day minimum, but a 5-day would be optimum.
And it's very relaxing too, so that you can do that. So you can go hiking around this island. You go to different coves around here. You can take the boat over to Var. There's all kinds of things to do. I mean, Var during the season is pretty hectic, but
still beautiful. Still beautiful. You have times during the morning or in the late afternoon when it's pretty quiet, and although it's high season, you can find moments and places where you can relax and see beautiful things and almost no people. For example, you have in this bay every day 45 boats. You go to next bay, 4 or 5 boats.
I heard that. Somebody was saying that this is a very busy bay normally, but of course right now we're just at the beginning of this season.
And the weather is bad, so unfortunately.
But, I've been here around the same time, and it was also still very nice. But there's a lot to see and do here, at least 4 days probably. And believe me, they will feed you well here.
To try all the things from our menu, 5 days.
5 days. Well, I'm working at it. We were there at lunch and trying to figure out what we should have already for dinner, save for dinner. But I got a good introduction from your chef, even though I was here a little late because of the storm and because of some flight delays. But I'm so glad that I ended up here at Zori Timeless Hotel. It is really it's not a hidden gem. It was known before, but now with the accommodations, you can stay here in amazing accommodations. It really is a beautiful resort, and good luck with it. I think it's going to be a home run when people start to go discover this, and it's going to be hard to get in, so you better get ahead. Now, where can our travel advisors go to find out more about Zori Timeless Hotel?
Well, the best thing is to visit our website, www.zori.hr, and there they can find all the.
It's just Zori.hr. That's it. That's
yes.
the one. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
No. That's it. We're just used to .com all the time. Yeah. But that's us. So go to Zori.hr. Take a look at this. Try to get your clients in here. They can come over by boat, either from Split or from. Actually, I suppose you can go to Var and then over. All these different places, because it is one of the great things about Croatia is to go between all these islands, and that's really one of the great things to enjoy and experience here in Croatia.
Yes, all the islands are beautiful, and the vicinity, they're pretty easy to go to and back, and I think it's the most beautiful part.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, I have to probably leave tomorrow because I have to get back to Split. But I want to come back here and experience your food, and then I'll take one of your cooking classes one of these, one like that. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, Eva, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and for inviting me here to see what you've created here. And this is the first year they have the accommodations, and to enjoy your new chef's food. He's been here 4 years, but he's a remarkable. And I'm sure your food was great too. So it's a great place to go if you really want to just sort of chill out, find this beautiful Croatian island, and it's a little minor paradise. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.